Could these money mistakes be holding you back from the financial freedom that you're working towards? Let's talk about them and how to spot them early so that you can finally get ahead. Mistake number one, carrying high interest debt. Credit cards, personal loans, or even store cards, when we carry these debts, we do not realize how much all this interest that we are paying, how much is eating away on our income. And the money that we are paying to the credit cards, especially with the high interest of like 29%, we don't realize how much it is taking away from our personal goals like buying a house or investing or saving. We don't realize how much all that debt is costing us. So my desire for you is that make sure that that you get a budget and start paying off those debts, because when we have those debts, it's such a mistake and it's such a delayer of our financial freedom that we are always desiring to have. Mistake number two, not having an emergency fund. When life happens, we can be thrown into financial chaos when we don't have an emergency fund. Loss of a job, where people these days are losing their jobs right and left. Having a car repair, you can just go, you're driving by, and then you have a flat tire, you have an AC that breaks down, a refrigerator, medical bills, you name it. Life does happen. And when we are not ready for life, we end up going into debt, because when we are caught unaware, what happens? We go and pull and start using our credit cards. So make sure that you are on your budget, that you are putting a line for an emergency fund where you can start building your emergency fund, even if it's to starting off with just 1 month. It's said that, the best rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months. But if you cannot do 3 to 6 months right now, start with 1 month at a time. And if you're not even there yet, even half a month is better than nothing. And starting is better than nothing. Even if it's starting with $50 a week, or even if it's $75 a week, it adds up. So just start somewhere, because life will happen and you don't want to end up using your credit cards where you're maybe trying to get out of debt, or you're on a financial freedom journey. So make sure that you do have an emergency fund. Mistake number three is ignoring your bank statement and your credit card statements, or even looking at your bank in general. For you to be able to be financially savvy, you need to look at your credit card bank statement just to make sure that there are no mistakes. Look at your bank statements to just make sure that there was no overdraft fees that were assessed, or even just looking at your bank in general to even see where you are. I've heard that wealthy people actually look at their bank statements, or they look at their banks every single morning. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, they can look at their bank statements, or they can look at their bank accounts because they have maybe money coming in every day. And if we want to be wealthy, we want to have financial freedom, we have to look at what the wealthy do. So make sure that you are into the habit of looking at your bank statement, your bank credit cards, or even your bank in general, to just see what's going on, because sometimes you can miss something maybe that you didn't even authorize. Fraud happens. You can find out maybe something you thought you had money and something went through. And especially when you have the yearly things, when you have something that is charged every year, something can just go through and it sets off your bank statement into a mess. And statistics that I read, actually stats that I just read recently, was that the banks in 2023, they made 5.8 billion. Yes, billion with a B, with overdraft fees and non-sufficient funds. So this is money that they made from people who did not have enough funds. They charged people, and most of the banks, they made 5.8 billion. That was in 2023. And in 2024, they made 12 billion. Can you imagine all that money? 12 billion, that's money that is coming from all of us, most people. What could we have done with that 12 billion? That's money that could have been saved. That's investment that families could have made. But guess who got to keep it? It's the same bank that they're using our money to create wealth. But then they're charging us if you bounce a check or something happens, they're making money out of it. So just make sure that you get into a habit of, if you can look at your bank account every day, just make sure maybe at the end of the month or after you get paid, or get into that habit of looking at your bank account every so often. I'd say maybe every 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Mistake number 4, skipping your employer's 401k match. If your employer is giving you a match and you're skipping and you're not contributing to your 401k, I think it's a big mistake, because you're leaving money at the table. You might not be interested in contributing to your 401k, but if you're employed and your employer is matching that dollar for dollar, I would say, even if it's just a little bit of money that you can pull and start contributing to your 401k, that's such a great idea, because this is money that they're giving it to you for free, and the only thing that you need to do is match it, so that at least you can start growing. So make sure that you're not leaving that money on the table, because the earlier you start doing it, the more you have the advantage of the time, for it to grow and compound. And it's such a great investment, because nobody out there is going to come out there and give you money, or let's say it's $50 that you're contributing every week. That's $200 a month that they're giving you. So just make sure that you are not leaving that money on the table, because even a little bit, you will be surprised how much it grows. Mistake number 5 is unnecessary spending. And I know what you're gonna say, I deserve it. Most of the time that we tell ourselves that, you know what, I deserve this thing, I deserve that shoe, I deserve that jersey, I deserve this, I deserve this. But we forget that sometimes when we get into that habit, we are delaying our retirement. We are delaying the way that we create wealth. So if you're in the habit of overspending unnecessarily, and I know it's your money, you're making it, ask yourself, what I'm overspending with, is it worth it? That jersey, is it worth it than me investing that money for my future self? Another pair of shoe, well, I have 8 more shoe or luxury bag. Is it worth it? So if you're overspending, I would say, think about it. Look at what you want to spend money on at this particular moment when you're about to spend. Sit on it for 24 hours. If you still need it, then go get it. But if you sit on it for 24 hours and you don't need it, then you know what? Take that money, put it into a saving account, put it into an investment account, and you'll be all set. Mistake number 6 is lack of financial education. This one, I think it's a big one, because most of us, we are not taught about financial education, either in school, or a lot of homes as parents, we're not teaching our children about financial literacy. So when we don't know about money, we go about making financial decisions that are not wise for us. We're not taught about how to invest. We're not taught about how to budget. We're not even taught how to save for our future. So make sure that you're educating yourself financially, either by reading books. There's so many books, like play card games with your family, Monopoly, Cash Flow for Kids, or even reading books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the psychology of money. There is so much out there that we need to educate. We need to take responsibilities for our finances, because if we wait on other people to teach us, we're going to wait for a long time. If we teach on people to teach our children, it's not going to happen, because there is so much fight even right now for schools to start teaching financial literacy. But a lot of kids are graduating college, they're graduating high school, and some of them, they're being taught about algebra, they're being taught about statistics, but there is not even maybe a single class about budgeting. There is no single class about money at all. So let us educate ourselves financially, read books, podcasts, attend seminars, workshops, anything to teach you about financial literacy. So that's a mistake that I see a lot of us don't do, is educating themselves. And when we don't educate ourselves, this is the time like we get into investment that we don't understand. We get into scams that we don't even understand. So make sure we're not even confident with our money, because sometimes we don't know what's going on. But when we are educated financially, we become very confident, because we already know that no matter who is going to tell us about a certain thing, that we are confident. Fine, we might not know all the things, but definitely basic information is very, very important. Mistake number 7, not saving or investing. Not saving or investing leaves you vulnerable, not just when for retirement, but also when emergencies happen. And we have to remember, like most of the wealthy people, they create their money through investing. Most of the wealthy people, they invest in real estate, they invest in stocks, they invest in mutual funds, all kind of investments out there, because they understand the rule of having their money work for them, either when they're sleeping, when they're whatever they're doing, their money is making money for them. So even for us, we need to get into a habit of investing. And most of the time I usually find that people don't think that they need a lot of money to invest, but you don't need a lot of money to start investing. Even $25, if you put $25 or even buy one stock. Let's say you like Apple, or you like Nvidia, or you like all the things that where you shop. You can buy a stock, maybe one stock or a couple stocks, and sometimes these stocks are not even expensive. And what you need to do is like look for a company that you love where you spend your stuff. Let's say you use Apple phone, but find out how much their stock are. And if you can be able to buy maybe a $1,400 phone, maybe sell yourself, maybe I should be able to even buy one stock and I can leave it there and it starts growing. So make sure that you're starting to invest early, because when we start investing early, there is that compound effect, and see how your money is growing. You're going to be so excited and you're going to start increasing it. Mistake number 8 is keeping up with the Joneses. This one is silent, but it's so deadly, because guess what? It steals our money, and it makes us spend more money than we were not supposed to be, because we're trying to keep up with our friends and we don't even know what our friends are doing to be able to afford those things. We don't even know whether they are racking up debt to live the lifestyle that we are watching them living in the social media. And it makes us feel like, oh my goodness, I need a bag. I need to drive a better car than her. I need a bigger house. So-and-so just bought a house. What about me? I need a better house. This house is not fitting for me. And sometimes there's nothing wrong even with your house. You need more bags. You need more shoes, just because your friend or other people, living a life to impress other people that don't even sometimes know you. So make sure that you're not caught up, with keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with your friends, because you don't know exactly, unless you really know them. You don't even whether you know them or not, do not try to keep up with anybody, because each one of us have our goals. Each one of us have our why. What is your why? What is your goal? Maybe that's their goal. Maybe they don't even have a goal, or you don't even know. Maybe they got a bonus, and that's the reason that they're spending the money that you're seeing them spending out there. Or maybe your friend is a visiting nurse. She is working in Hawaii and she's getting paid, and on her days off, maybe she's on the beach. You see what I'm saying? Maybe it's a friend who is on a conference or doing something, and that day that you think that she is out here on vacation, she is literally using that time of where she is at work or at her conference to do the things that to have fun. So if you don't know what somebody else is spending or what you're seeing out there, the luxury vacations, Dubai, Paris, or anywhere, don't be caught up trying to catch up with them, because you don't know their situation. And maybe your situation, your goal is to pay off debt, your goal is to create wealth. Just don't get caught up with that. Or if you want to take a vacation, or you want to have all these things, budget. Let's say you want to go on a nice vacation and you feel like, I cannot afford it. Reverse engineer it. Think about where you want to go and think about, can I really afford this? So don't keep up with the Joneses, because you don't know what's going on with the Joneses. Mistake number 9 is oversubscriptions. I know we all have these subscriptions that sometimes we don't even know when we signed up for them. $99 here, $14.99 here, or $29.99 here. And we just think, oh my goodness, that's really nothing. But if we add up all the subscriptions that we have, and don't even forget the gym, you know, the gym membership that we are going, the cable that we have, but we don't even watch TV. We are on our mobile devices. So just make sure that every so often, even every 2 months, I would even say maybe every quarter, look at your bank statement, look at all your subscriptions, cut those subscriptions that you're not using, because one of the biggest why it's a money mistake, because it's taking money away from you every month. Can you imagine what you could have been doing with all that money that you are using on these subscriptions and that you're not even using? The debt that you could have paid, that vacation that maybe that you wanted to go, but you didn't go because you didn't have the money, yet the money is all hidden in these subscriptions that you're not even using. You paid for a course, or you have paid to a membership somewhere that you're not even attending. You even forgot that you have it, or you have it, but you keep telling yourself that you're gonna use it. And to be honest, I have a $7 thing that I had bought from a coach that literally, I think it's been a couple years or 3 years, and I keep telling myself, I did go through it the other day, and it has so much juicy stuff that I need, but I keep telling myself that I'm gonna go do it, I'm gonna start listening, but I haven't. But yet I'm paying for this $7 every single month, but I'm not utilizing it to the capacity that I need to, which now reminds me that I need to go commit and do it. And I'm telling you some of these things because we all make these mistakes, you know. And for us to be able to create the world that we desire, we need to be able to stay away from these mistakes that we are making, so that, you know, that our money can stop bleeding. Because sometimes we think that we need a lot of money, or think we need a second job, or we think we need another paycheck, but yet the money that God has already given to us, we are not even being faithful to the money that He has given to us. So clean up your subscriptions today, cancel those subscriptions that you're not using, and start creating your wealth today. Here's the bottom line. Mistakes are part of the journey, but once you know better, you can do better. Be sure to watch this video next, where I talk about the hidden cost of debt.